Some musicians prefer the natural rhythm and feel of playing pads or drum machines. Some prefer the step sequencing workflow, where you can program beats without worrying about playing precisely. On push, we're able to play and step sequence at the same time. So let's look at how to put together a simple beat. Use the Add Track button to add a drum kit. You can use the buttons beneath the display or the encoders above to navigate Live's library, and use the green button to load a kit. Push's pads are automatically configured when you load a drum kit. The pads are divided into 3 areas. These 16 pads are for real-time playing. The top 4 rows are for step sequencing, and these are for setting the loop length. You can use the touch fader to choose different banks of drums. This corresponds to the pad overview slider in the drum rack in Live. Hitting a drum pad selects that pad and shows its parameters in the display. The pad colors indicate whether the pad is selected, contains a sound, or is empty. The step size is set by this column of buttons. 16ths are selected by default, so you've got 32 16th notes for a total of 2 bars. You could record with a metronome, but instead, let's start by entering some step sequence notes, which starts the transport, creates a clip, and provides a pulse. You can press multiple steps at once. If you hold a step and press the accent button, you can make this pattern more dynamic. The loop length controls allow you to set the length of the clip's loop. Each pad here corresponds to one of 16 possible bars, so you can quickly create a 1-bar loop or a longer loop. Let's stick with one measure for now. Now let's add some hi-hats with the repeat function. The repeat feature lets you play repeated notes at a variety of durations, using the pressure of the pad to adjust velocity. You can swing the repeated notes in real time. Let's overdub this onto our pattern. Next, we'll record in kick and snare. That's okay, but the kick is a little too loose. If you hold quantize and then hit the pad, all the notes on that pad will be quantized. Holding the quantize button brings up the quantize menu, where you can change recording quantization settings or destructively apply swing to something you've already recorded. The snare is pretty good, but the second one is a little late, so let's nudge it ahead a bit. When you hold a pad, step, or steps, you can nudge the step backwards or forwards in time. You can also solo or mute a pad. You can make variations of your drum patterns by pressing the duplicate button, or double the loop length with the double button. Touching the notch tempo encoder shows you the current tempo of your set. Turning it changes the tempo by 1 BPM. Holding Shift while turning it allows for finer tempo control. And you can tap in the tempo if needed,